Most men walk into a hug thinking it's just a casual gesture, harmless and meaningless. But what I'm about to tell you is the truth they never teach you. In that brief moment, a woman can read your confidence, your boundaries, and even your respect for her without a single word spoken. That first second matters more than the rest of the conversation, more than any compliment you give, more than any funny text you send afterward. Your entire character, your energy, your understanding of emotional space, it all shows up there. And when you get it wrong, she knows it instantly. She feels it in her body before her mind even processes it. It creates unease, subtle tension, and a flicker of distrust that no charming line or witty joke can erase. So if you've ever wondered why some men are seen as magnetic, while others are awkward, insecure, or even off-putting in moments that should be intimate, it starts here. The way you approach a hug says everything about your self-awareness. Think about the last time you hugged a woman you liked. Did you lean in too quickly? Did your hands squeeze too tight, almost reflexively? Did you invade her personal space before she even had a chance to signal comfort or hesitation? These little impulses are invisible to you, but they scream volumes to her subconscious. She doesn't just notice your physical movement, she interprets your intentions, your respect for her boundaries, and your emotional literacy. And I can promise you, when men rush, grip, or misread these signals, it's not just a failed hug. It's a failed moment that quietly chips away at her attraction. Now imagine this. You walk in, aware of her energy, conscious of your timing, calm in your movements. You pause for a microsecond, long enough for her to register your respect, your patience, your control. That pause is powerful. It signals that you understand unspoken boundaries, that you're not desperate for validation, and that you operate from emotional strength rather than insecurity. And yes, the difference between a memorable, magnetic hug and an awkward, forgettable one is literally measured in that half second. Most men don't realize it, which is why so many feel invisible, overlooked, or rejected, even by women they genuinely care about. You may have the looks, the career, or even the charisma, but without this subtle mastery of nonverbal communication, it all falls flat. Here's the psychological truth. Women are wired to notice emotional patterns, to sense threats, or warmth in a heartbeat. When a man hugs them without awareness, they detect tension, desperation, or disrespect immediately. Conversely, when a man approaches with calm confidence, respecting her space while still being present, it creates a subtle chemical reaction in her brain, a release of oxytocin mixed with admiration. She feels safety, attraction, and intrigue all in that brief moment. So the hug isn't just physical, it's psychological. And if you want her to trust, to feel attraction, and to see you as a man of value, you must master this invisible language. It's not about strength, charm, or even romance. It's about presence, awareness, and the emotional signals you convey. Every misstep sends a silent alarm. Every measured action communicates control and respect. And here's the kicker. Even men who think they are naturally good at physical intimacy often get it wrong because they ignore what women truly feel, focusing instead on their own comfort or ego. This is why many relationships never reach full emotional depth, why so many dating interactions feel flat, tense, or unbalanced. The hug is your first test, the moment where subconscious chemistry begins, the invisible thread that can either pull her closer or push her away. Most men completely misread the signals even before their bodies touch hers. They assume proximity equals connection, but it doesn't. Women give subtle cues, eye contact, micro-pauses in movement, the way she shifts her weight, even the slight tension in her shoulders. If you ignore these, your hug immediately becomes invasive. Imagine stepping in too quickly, wrapping your arms around her without a pause. She doesn't feel comfort, she feels pressure. And here's the truth men rarely admit. A tight or rushed hug can trigger a defensive response in her subconscious. Her brain interprets it as a boundary being crossed, a subtle threat. Attraction isn't just about charm, it's about creating a safe emotional space while demonstrating confidence. The moment you fail that, she notices instantly, even if she smiles politely or laughs afterward. Men often think they're being affectionate or romantic, but what women feel isn't always what men intend. There's an invisible ledger in her mind where every microaction is logged. Too tight, too fast, too eager, it all counts. And the worst part? Many men think humor, flattery, or physical looks can erase this, but they can't. Emotional perception is stronger than words or appearances. You might say something clever, but if your body screams impatience or desperation, the message is lost. On the flip side, when a man moves slowly, reading her energy, pausing just long enough to allow her presence to meet his, the chemistry shifts. She feels respect, curiosity, and intrigue without even knowing why. That's why the most magnetic men often hug less, not more. They understand timing, patience, and the psychological weight of a simple embrace. And let me tell you, this isn't guesswork, it's biological. Women's brains process these subtle social cues faster than words. They feel your intentions before they think about them. That microsecond hesitation, the softness in your approach, the way your hands settle gently, they all signal emotional intelligence. This is what separates men who are memorable from men who are forgettable. You can't fake it. You can't brute force it with charm or jokes. You have to understand, sense, and respect her emotional space. And this applies not just to casual interactions, but to every meaningful relationship. A poor hug doesn't just affect the moment, it sets the tone for all future interactions. Every woman you meet, every first impression, every subtle gesture afterward is influenced by whether you respected that first physical boundary. Now consider this. How many men obsess over being funny, rich, or confident, but completely neglect the psychological weight of a simple hug? Most never even realize their hands, posture, and timing are telling stories far louder than their words. And here's the key most men miss. They think they are being themselves, but a woman reads deeper than surface authenticity. She senses insecurity, control issues, or lack of awareness instantly. Conversely, a calm, measured, respectful hug communicates self-respect, maturity, and a deeper understanding of attraction. You don't have to say a word, you just have to move correctly, with awareness. That is the difference between leaving a woman intrigued, drawn, and interested, and leaving her indifferent, cautious, or subtly repelled. And if you're serious about being magnetic, respected, and desired, mastering this moment is non-negotiable. Now, let's go even deeper into what women actually feel when you hug them. Most men believe physical touch is about closeness, but it's more about perceived safety and control. Every micro movement, every pause, every angle of your body communicates a message that words cannot. A woman will feel your confidence or your insecurity before you even realize it. The subtle way you tilt your head, relax your shoulders, and ease your grip tells her whether she's in safe hands or not. Think of it this way: attraction isn't always about charm or appearance, it's about emotional signals. When a hug is rushed, tight, or forceful, her subconscious registers tension, almost like a silent warning. And this is why many men, despite being attractive or successful, fail to leave a lasting impression. Their bodies speak louder than their words, and they often speak the wrong language. But when you approach with awareness, when your movements are deliberate yet gentle, a remarkable thing happens. She feels calm, intrigued, and safe, all in one brief moment. That pause before your arms fully wrap around her, that split second of acknowledgement, communicates more than any compliment ever could. Women are wired to notice patterns. They subconsciously read for emotional literacy. Can this man respect my boundaries, or is he operating from impulse? Can he balance presence with patience, intensity with restraint? And yes, these judgments happen in less than a second. Here's the psychological truth most men don't understand. A well-executed hug releases microchemical signals in her brain. Oxytocin flows, curiosity spikes, and attraction subtly grows, not because of your body or appearance, but because of how you move within her space. That is why some men are magnetic even without saying a word. They master these invisible cues. You can't fake it. Desperation, impatience, or nervousness always leaks through. But control, confidence, and awareness, they register instantly. This is the difference between being forgettable and being unforgettable. And here's the kicker. This knowledge is almost never taught. Most dating advice focuses on what to say, what to text, or how to look, but ignores the power of presence and nonverbal psychology. That's why even subtle missteps, a quick grab, a hasty lean in, a grip that's too firm, can ruin not just a moment, but the potential trajectory of your connection. When you master this, though, everything changes. Your hug becomes a signal of emotional strength, patience, and respect. It communicates that you understand unspoken rules of attraction and human psychology. And when she feels that, her perception of you shifts instantly. Suddenly, you are no longer just another guy. You are a man who commands attention, earns trust, and holds space in a way that is naturally magnetic. That is the hidden truth. The hug is more than a gesture. It is a psychological blueprint, a subtle test of your confidence, patience, and emotional intelligence. And the moment you fail it, your chances slip away without her ever saying a word. Finally, let's uncover the last hidden truths most men will never realize about hugging a woman. The hug isn't just physical, it's a psychological test, a mirror of your confidence, awareness, and emotional intelligence. Every subtle movement communicates a message. Your hands, your posture, your timing, even the energy you carry into the moment. The most common mistake men make is thinking intimacy equals speed or force. They rush, lean in too fast, or grip too tightly, believing it shows passion, when in reality, it signals insecurity, impatience, or a lack of respect. Women sense this instantly, at a subconscious level. Conversely, a measured, aware hug demonstrates restraint, emotional strength, and self-respect. It shows you understand boundaries without needing to speak. The most magnetic men don't just hug, they command presence. They move in alignment with her energy. They pause, they breathe, they acknowledge her subtle signals, and they create a feeling of safety before anything else. This is the invisible language women are tuned to. Master it, and you transform a simple gesture into a powerful connection that draws her closer without effort. Ignore it, and you lose before the interaction even begins. Remember, it isn't about charm, jokes, or looks. It's about psychology, perception, and energy. When you hug correctly, her brain releases subtle chemical cues, oxytocin, dopamine, curiosity spikes that make her feel safe, intrigued, and connected. You don't need to force attraction. It emerges naturally when your presence communicates confidence and respect. And here's the challenge I want you to try. Next time you hug someone you care about, pause and ask yourself, are you truly aware of how your body, your timing, and your energy are being perceived? Be honest. Comment your answer below. If you could measure your hug on a scale of awareness from 1 to 10, what number would you give yourself? Reflect on it. Share this video with a friend who needs to hear this. Hit like if this opened your eyes, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights that women aren't telling you. But I am. Because understanding these hidden psychological truths is what separates ordinary men from those who are quietly magnetic, unforgettable, and respected. Your journey starts with awareness, and it starts now.